Someone once said, it's what you do with it that matters. Another said, it's not everything, you know. And yet another said, bigger is better. Now before this gets out of hand, let me just clarify that Land Rover's stance is clear. Size really matters when you're talking about the all-new Range Rover. And it is easy to see why. This Rangy is 5.2 meters long and a whole 2 meters wide. This is not a large car. It's actually a shrunken down yacht. And a rather good looking one at that. Forming your opinion about the new Rangy styling, I've realized, is a matter of what you prioritize. It's hard to miss the neat front, the large 22-inch wheels, the unique rear, or for that matter, any number of elements in the middle. But what's unmissable is that this car has presence. Not just because of the size of it, but because it manages to arrest your senses by just how nonchalant a manner it goes about its business. I really, really admire that. Ditto for the car's access height function, which actually lowers the car's air suspension to a somewhat respectable level. Sure, it's still tall, but is nowhere near as tall as it can actually get. In case you're wondering, that's a mammoth 294 mm of ground clearance in its off-roadiest setting. But I'm going to stay away from the topic of getting down and dirty with the Rangy because let's be realistic. How much time are you actually going to be spending off-road in this? What you will be spending time is in the cabin. And what a resplendent place this is. The dash is ultra-opulent. There's a lovely 13.1-inch touchscreen in the center that handles most of the car's functions. The steering looks the part and the digital instrument cluster is, to put it simply, just perfect. But you'd be buying this car for the seats at the back. There's also the fact that pretty much all manner of adjustment for the rear seats is done via the touchscreen, not to mention heating, cooling and massage functions. I don't know, I'm quite up to this kind of lifestyle. At the back there's a massive boot, but if you're so inclined, you can also spec the Rangy with a third row of seats. Plus the trademark split tailgate is still there so that you can have a bit of a bench to sit on and gaze out of too. All of this is fine and dandy, but it just leaves us with one last bit. How is it to drive? Well, first things first, this is the D350 and that means there's a 3-liter diesel that makes 258 horsepower and 700 Nm. Now, instinctively, I'm tempted to say that that's an absurd amount of torque. But considering this car weighs 2.5 tons, you should expect that much torque. And another thing that we should clarify right from the start, this is not a getaway car. It's not quick in the traditional sense. It's fast, sure, but there's a subtle difference between being quick and being fast. You want both? Spec this with the option of a 4.4 litre turbo petrol V8. Yeah, that should do the trick. Cruising out on a highway at speeds of up to 120, it will do it with its eyes closed, but yours should remain open. Where it falls into a bit of a spot is when you hurry it. You can feel the weight, and while the 8-speed auto is more than up for everything, you can't shake off the fact that it feels out of its element. Getting going from a standstill is not a concern at all, and that's primarily because of the mild hybrid system that just aids you while setting off. But thereafter, you're constantly aware of just how large this car is, especially in traffic. Like I mentioned earlier, this car is 5.2 meters long and a whole 2 meters wide. There's just no getting away from that. What definitely helps is the fact that the Rangy gets rear wheel steer, so doing tight U-turns is a lot easier than you'd expect, especially when you factor in the excellent 360-degree camera. So where does that leave us? It's massive, opulent, loaded with kit, and it makes a statement like no other car out there currently. My reservations about the Range's size, in all likelihood, it's a non-issue. It's probably exactly what the people want. And who am I to argue with what the people want, right? Anyway, thank you for watching. This is Forbes India Momentum. I'm Ronak. And how long do you think before someone actually starts nicking all the lettering off the bonnet? You know, the Range Rover written there. I'd give it 2 weeks.